make it rain, baby! Yeah, baby! Hit me with your best shot! Oh yeah, baby! Hit me with your best shot! Yeah! Do it! Do it! I want it in my mouth now! Woo, woo, woo!
Buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work.
Welcome to Yell Brick Road. I am Jordan, and today I am bored again, so you know what I'm doing. It is Tim time, Jimmy Jam time. That's right, I said time twice. Before I get started, don't forget to share, support, or hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them. It's not for me, it's for other people. So except for the very last one, very bottom. But don't worry about that one. So all the links, share them, donate. Do it now. All right. So here we have Timmy again. And this is what we got mad about the intro. I'm like, bro, it's too funny. And every single, I promise you, if as long as I'm capable of doing so, every time I do a Tim Pool video, I'm using that intro. I don't care what song I'm on. I don't care if the song's a good vibe. I don't care if it's, God tier metric music. It will be replaced with that intro. It's beautiful. But anyways, all right. So I planned to do 2 videos in that last video, but that last one just ran so long that I just split them up. So here's your second Timmy video, or second topic with Tim Time Jimmy Jam. Name of the video is Judge Rules Mahmoud Khalil can be deported, in all caps, in massive victory for Trump. Now, he says victory for Trump. I wonder what it means to Timmy. And without further ado, here we go. Hopefully my volume's good.
Fox News.
Oh, it is.
Colombia anti-Israel protester Mahmoud Khalil can be deported, judge rules. He faces deportation for his role in the Columbia University campus protests against Israel. So that's the story. Judge Jamie Comins ruled in Louisiana on Friday that Khalil can be deported, saying the U.S. government met its burden of proof to remove him. Quote,
by the way, for all 4 of them, there is no way they can be in favor of this. There's no chance they can be in favor of it. They're going to look like assholes if they are. Now, the thing we really need to pay attention to is with a guy like Tim Pool is he going to give soft support for it? Right? That's because he does this. He does things where he did it in his whole build up to Trump. I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for him. But every video he does is basically supporting Donald Trump and how supporting Donald Trump while also saying how crazy the left has gone. Right? That's been mainly his content, the content that built him up. Right? He just basically vultured off of all the Trump fans and the MAGA crowd, and let's be real, a lot of them are too dumb to recognize that this guy is full of shit. He's a Douglas Murray. So the fact that they don't recognize, this is what Tim Pool does. So I'm curious, because in this particular topic, in this particular case with Mahmoud Khalil, there's no way he can be in favor of it. I don't know the other 3 gentlemen there. I'll be real about that. But Timmy, once again, there's no way around this. This is an open and shut case for being in regards to censorship. You cannot be in favor of a guy who legally immigrated here, got permanent resident status, got married to an American, has a kid on the way. So it wasn't like, what do people say? Ilhan Omar married her brother. It ain't that situation. And all he did was protest Israel. And if he did more than that, if he did something crazy, if he's fucking sending money to Hamas, or he's, at night he puts on a mask and does some vigilante shit and beats up Jewish people, prove it. Show me. Prove it. So if the guy came here and didn't commit any crimes, he just had an opinion, there's no way you can be in favor of this happening. It sets a crazy precedent. Now, this thing I'm very sure of. Might underplay it. He might underplay, like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. All right, he might do that, but there's no way he could be outright in favor of what's happening here. I'll tell you that right now. But, all right, here we go.
That Khalil can be deported, saying the U.S. government met its burden of proof to remove him. Quote, I would like to quote what you said the last time, that there's nothing that's more important to this court than due process rights and fundamental fairness. Clearly, what we witnessed, Khalil told the court, clearly what we witnessed today, neither of these principles were present today or in this whole process. This is exactly why the Trump administration has sent me to this court 1,000 miles away from my family. Yep. I just hope that the urgency that you deemed fit for me are afforded to the hundreds of others who have been here without hearing for months.
Let me just add on that. Apparently, the Trump administration had him sent to Louisiana because they know the judges, maybe a particular judge, maybe multiple judges in Louisiana, will rule more in favor of the state than for Mahmoud Khalil, which is, once again, scary and dangerous to me. Just adding context. Here we go.
So he's out. Fox News calls it anti-Semitism exposed. I think the big question here is not actually whether or not Mahmoud Khalil can be deported. Because typically when the debate actually begins over whether or not he can be deported, the issue of Israel-Palestine takes over. In the sense that the only reason he's had his visa revoked and is being deported is because he opposed Israel.
It's his green card, so it's not a visa. He's permanent resident status. I don't know if that was on purpose or I think he might have just made a mistake there. But it's a green card. I might correct him on that. But yeah, the issue is deportation in the bigger scope of, like, not in the, I mean, all these cases are big, but I'm saying, like, in maybe a bigger umbrella of a scope here. It's a guy saying something. Can you imagine this? Someone gets on a soapbox and says, I hate whatever they want to say. Like, I hate maybe these type of people. I hate this country. I hate this, or I hate that. Is that enough to be like, yo, you're committing a criminal act? Didn't the quote-unquote the right-winger guys, like, just go through an entire thing of crying about Twitter banning people? Like, that's not even some sort of, like, legal status shit. That's just a private company doing that. Right? So this has to be a bigger deal because it sets a bigger precedent. And you bet your ass, you're the next ones in the fucking scope, bro, of the sniper. Americans will be next. If you think I'm kidding, go look back at footage back during after 9/11, before the Iraq War, and go watch some Bill O'Reilly, and you tell me if they started going willy-nilly crazy the way Trump is going willy-nilly crazy. Yeah, something else would happen to these guys protesting a war that, as time went by, everyone figured out, like, damn, this war sucks. This is terrible. Where's the weapons of mass destruction? Where's this? Where's the evidence for any of this stuff? What are you doing? Why are we going to Iraq? And Afghanistan? Like, I don't get it. Afghanistan probably made more sense. Why are we going to Iraq? And people start having more and more questions about everything. So it turns out those woke leftist protesters, in fact, they weren't all woke. There's all spectrums were against that war. There's representatives from all spectrums against the Iraq war before it started. And then way more after it started. But what? God damn it, I forgot my point. Fuck. What was I saying? Fuck. Whatever. What? Oh, I was saying, so those guys that were punished by the state, by the media, on and so forth, ended up being correct. Now, the thing that's happening to Mahmoud Khalil in regards to his complaints about Israel, or maybe in just helping other students safely protest Israel, and having like a go-between between the university and the students, which is what you're supposed to do. You're trying to be healthy, I would say. What if the kids and Mahmoud Khalil and people like that end up being correct? That we are actually living in a time period where a blatant genocide is happening and we're doing nothing about it. And then people who are doing something about it get arrested and once again, flown 1,000 miles away from his fucking family to be kicked out of the country to a war-torn Syria. Or Lebanon, I think is... Right? I think that was the other country. No, Algeria, I think, is the other country that he could go to because he has citizenship there. What if he's right about what's going on over there? Now what precedent does that set? Now it's just an orange penguin Douglas Murray type person screaming, agree with me or get the fuck out of the country. Even if you are red, white, and blue to the fucking core, how are you in favor of that? If you're in favor of it, you either don't know the situation and you're a dumb fuck, or you're Douglas Murray. You're a cunt. I'm trying not to use that word as much. Well, I mean, I don't mind the word. It's just a little less savory, you know? So let me go. I think it's funnier to just call them Douglas Murrays. Anyways, let's keep it rolling with Tim Time Jimmy Jam. There's no way you can be in favor of this. And I don't know why he's walking away from the deportation aspect of it. Like that, I think that's very important. But maybe he has a point. Let's see where he goes.
The only reason he's had his visa revoked and is being deported
Green card.
is because he opposed Israel. They've not alleged that his protest activities were criminal in any sense. It's specifically that his views against Israel are a threat to our national security.
Didn't he
Which
also,
is
though, have
crazy.
like anti-United States and anti-Western bias in addition to his pro-Palestinian points, though?
Right.
It wasn't exclusively that. He was also advocating for like downfall of the United States. I don't know if exactly he said that, but there were other
Advocating for the like, okay, so this guy is coming in here with the ugly ass suit, the brick suit. Yeah, he's shooting bricks. He's bricking on Timmy. Pause. No pause. So what? So what? Once again, if someone can get on a soapbox and scream, "I hate America," as long as you're not building up an army, grabbing arms, grabbing bombs, grabbing weapons to kill Americans or shoot up the government and all, whatever the fuck. What's the crime? Having wrongthink? Have an opinion I disagree with. Deport him. So you adding that little caveat there only solidifies more of my point. Where it's like, you could say things, you can think things, until it turns into action, what the fuck is a criminal charge? What's the criminal charge? Was he handing out weapons to kids? Like, yeah, guys, we're going to take over the country. Did he even say that? Did he say we're going to take over America? Did he even say I hate America? Or did he question America? So this is a non-fucking point. Show me the fucking evidence. Anyways, here we go.
things he said that were...
The argument brought up by the anti-Israel side is that the other people targeted by the Trump administration, it's all Israel. Like Romasia Ataturk, was that her name? What was her name?
Yep.
I think Ozturk or something. I got it wrong. But she had written a paper that was anti-Israel, pro-Palestine, or depending on how people interpret it, pro-Hamas. So the argument is not
the doctor who was
Thank you for that caveat.
refused entry.
No, Romasia was a student.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, the woman in the ice came up to her and they were plain clothes and everyone said it was...
Oh, yes, I remember that. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, PhD student. So, once again, these aren't, guys in the slums with fucking AKs racked up in his basement. These are fucking PhD students or graduates, master's degrees, PhDs. They probably teach some themselves, and they just say words. And that apparently is a threat to national security. You should soak that in, people. Soak that in. Words can be a threat to national security. Bill O'Reilly was doing it to people protesting the Iraq War. We saw what the Iraq War was. There was a reason to stand against it. Even these dumb fucks have to be against the Iraq War, right? I'm sure I've heard Timmy say that plenty of times. Even though I think he's full of shit about a lot of things. Like he'd just be saying that to sound more peace-loving, and that Trump, when you support Trump, it's a support for anti-war. Meanwhile, that's never been the case. Never been the case. You had maybe a shot in 2015 where it would make more sense because he didn't do anything yet. But after the first couple months of his first presidency, you should know that guy is not anti-war, and he is down with the war on terror that he criticized Jeb's brother, right? Jeb Bush during the primary, where he criticized Jeb Bush by using George W. Bush. He's like, oh, the Iraq War, that was a fucking disaster. And then he just comes into office and continues the disaster. We didn't start any new wars. He did that too. It's just Congress didn't, get on the stand like, hey, we're going to war with this, right? He started all types of wars, bro. A lot in Africa, all over the Middle East, with different factions, different times. He funded fucking terrorist groups to take down other governments. Like, these are all documented. And guess what? But by the way, I'm not on the left. I'm just me. I just think the way I think. I go with my morals, and that's it. Pretty simple. But if you're a quote-unquote right-leaning person, I would assume you like someone like Rand Paul or Thomas Massie. And Rand Paul will get on a stand during during his presidency, and Rand Paul will get on a stand and say, why are we giving money to these so-called rebels in Syria? Why are we doing that? Or if you know about the white helmets, why are we giving $4 million to the white helmets, Trump? Now, someone could say he didn't know about it. That is also not true, because he tweeted about Barack Obama funding these same rebels in a disagreeing fashion. It's like, what is Obama doing? This is stupid to be funding these guys that, let's be real, are not good guys. He's basically saying, like, oh, those are terrorist guys, and we're funding them. Trump comes in, boom, does the same shit. So he did know about it, and then let's be real, he's just lying. But once again, Timmy won't report on that. It is what it is. He might even know about it and not report it. Like I said before with the Assange thing, he can know things and just not say anything about it because maybe it makes Trump look bad, and let's be real, Timmy makes money off of the Trump guy. Or maybe even from the Trump guy. Or maybe it's from people that like Trump or in favor of Trump. Let's just keep it a buck. Anyways, let's keep going.
Right. So clearly the trend, and now the DHS has announced that they're going to be screening social media of visa applicants for anti-Semitism. So it's not
Orwellian.
The argument.
There's no way to be in favor of that. That's Orwellian as fuck. I'll play that part again. They're going to scan social. I said this before in videos. I didn't do a direct video about it, but where they're scanning social media accounts so that they can deport people. Now, you could say, oh, man, being kicked off of TikTok or Twitter is like, oh, my God, the downfall of civilization. But if you say nothing about this stuff, you're a fucking hypocrite and a dumb fuck. Or you might be a Douglas Murray. Maybe look into the mirror a little bit. Make sure you're not, make sure your accent doesn't start changing. Anyways, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, the woman in the ice came up to her and they were playing clothes and everyone said it was.
Oh, yes. I remember that. Okay.
Right. So clearly the trend, and now the DHS has announced that they're going to be screening social media of visa applicants for anti-Semitism. So it's not, the argument.
Get your real IDs out.
I think there's evidence to suggest the government is concerned about anti-Israel sentiment among people coming into this country. And that's why they're being deported. So
there's people in the country.
Of course he can. The government has the right to deport anybody who's not a citizen. But again,
I don't think that's the case. According to someone like Glenn Greenwald, that is not the case. As far as the Constitution applies to everyone on the fucking homeland, whether they're born here or not, right? And in fact, you have to go through these due processes, like real due process, just to figure out if they did a crime or not, right? And then if they commit a crime, then yeah, you can fucking revoke their shit, allegedly. But for the crime, like once again, they're doing some lawyering shit where they're playing with words and essentially playing semantics, right? To say like, oh, because he is against what's going on in Israel, and he's pro-Palestinian, or the girl is the Ozturk girl. Either like that means they're essentially supporting terrorist groups. But that's not even the case. Like. Where is the I love Hamas from either of those two individuals. Where is it? And if they did, is that a crime to say? They're not here illegally, so that's not the crime either. So what's the fucking crime? I mean, I've said it before. If they start designating civilian groups, like full-blooded American civilians, and saying, we don't like the way you guys do things, so we're going to designate you a terrorist group. What if they can just get rid of you? Put you on a trip to El Salvador. I know the body dumb fucks that usually hop in comment sections and say, yeah, get them out of here. All right? They come off as bots to me. If they're not actual bots, then they're like life bots. Like they lost in the... They're the little swimmer that accidentally won and shit. But sorry, that's a mean joke. But I think regular people need to recognize what precedent is being set. It will come to you at some point. This real ID thing, right? That has scary prospects. I know a lot of people like Alex Jones now, right? Timmy likes Alex Jones now. He's been on Rogan. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, they all like Alex Jones now. That guy, for years, was warning about, federal IDs that can, facial recognition technology and all this shit that could come out from RFID chips and all that stuff, right? He was very worried about it, and I think for good reason. Not that I necessarily believe him, but he was saying it, and thus... But when Trump does it, somehow it's not a big deal. Like, that should be scary to people. To watch your favorite content creators blatantly and brazenly be hypocritical. Not saying Tim is in this particular situation. I have to let him finish, but pause. All right, let's just keep going. This should be a worry. This should be a red flag from everyone. Let's say you don't care about Palestinians, you don't care about the war in the Middle East, you don't care about whatever. People being deported here, even though they have legal rights to be here, right? They were screened. Where's the ant on my arm? They were screened. They've been here for a while. This isn't like they got here last year, right? These guys have gone through schooling, right? They've graduated. They've gotten PhDs. They've been in PhD classes. Some aren't from the Middle East. Some are from fucking, South Korea or China or wherever the fuck. Where, like, they clearly have no connections to Hamas. Not only that. Unless, I guess, China's supporting Hamas. Maybe people think that. I don't know. That'd be kind of crazy to think, but whatever. Yeah, whatever. Let's just keep going. I can just go on for days and days. Here we go.
Among people coming into this country. And that's why they're being deported. So he can be deported. Of course he can. The government has the right to deport anybody who's not a citizen. But again, what typically comes up from those defending Mahmoud is not immigration law. They just use that because they're actually saying you should be allowed to speak out against Israel. Similarly with TikTok. The argument tends to be the only reason TikTok is getting banned is because of Israel. So the merits of the case are often overlooked.
I did not hear that one. TikTok's being banned because of Israel? I thought it was about China. I thought Trump wanted to buy TikTok because Chinese propaganda. We'll buy it from them and make it ours. Okay, we want our propaganda, not theirs. I think that deal got kind of foiled by the whole tariff thing, but I thought it was mainly about China. Anyways, here we go.
Yeah, I wish that they weren't so relying so heavily on the anti-Israel narrative. I'm sure that there are a lot of people that are like, hey, he's speaking out against Israel and we should send him out of here. I don't care that he speaks out against Israel, but he's an anti-Western, anti-American. He said things like, I want to see Western society destroyed. He said things like, America's a bad place. So
I need to find those quotes. Are you sure it wasn't like, oh, he was named as being a part of some organization that have said such things? Or did he directly say those things? And if so, where'd you find that out? Did he write it in a paper, in a newspaper, in an article? Okay. And then you also have the other girl, right? The Ozturk girl. Did she say those same things or something like that? Is that why? How come they're all being banned under the same thing? Did the Chinese girl from UCLA say that? Did the valedictorian of her high school, meaning she was here for years, South Korean girl, was she saying that? It's like, this should be a little bit more scientific about it, bud. Because it's not just about him, Mahmoud Khalil. It's not just strictly about it. Like, oh, so they've all must have said, I hate America, and even it's like, to be real with you, even with that, it's like, who fucking cares? Are they actively doing something about it? Like, violently? If they're speaking their opinion and it sways people, then that's democracy, right? If a civilian hears an opinion and says, I like that opinion, and they start going in that direction, once again, non-violently, how's that a fucking crime? That's just called democracy. Like, oh, they disagree, so they vote a certain way, or they politically behave a certain way to get what they want to happen. And they're trying to get more and more people on their side and then make it a reality, right? Isn't that just normal democracy? So they keep adding this caveat that means fucking nothing to the case. Nothing. Was Khalil stashing rocket launchers? No. So they keep adding this caveat. Let's be real. Let me keep it real now. I've heard 3 of these fucking dweebs talk so far. And the direction they're going in is to protect Trump, I think. To make it sound like it's like plausible that like this might be okay. Meanwhile, it is the exact opposite of okay. What were these fools saying? Like, what were these fools most likely saying? I don't know their exact quotes. What were they most likely saying during the whole Twitter thing? And, oh, the far left is banning people. Right? They're working with the Biden administration to ban people. Like, listen, if somebody's is a Nazi and they have, Nazi-like opinions, they should be allowed to say it. And someone else should have the right to counter them, to knock their idea down. But in this case, he did have some anti-American stuff, he said, It's like, you guys are fucking losers. Losers. Actually. Either they're too dumb, the brick suit and this dude, who, I don't know. They could be too dumb. But Timmy, once again, I'm going with he's a Douglas Murray. Forgive me, that's my opinion. He smells like a Douglas Murray. A little guy who vultures off pain and suffering of other people type shit. Unless it's a win for his grift. If he picks Team Trump and Trump says, we're officially ending the war in Yemen, they'll be like, damn, Trump did a good job. Yeah. Which on the surface looks like a positive thing, but coming from this guy? Today, I'm going to war with Yemen. Boots on the ground. Oh, hey, Trump, man, I really disagree with Trump here. I really disagree with him. Like, wait a minute. Let's say Biden did that. You need to, if Biden, today we're going to, Botswana. Mr. President, it's Yemen. Today we're going to war with Yemen. Boots on the ground. Boots on my head, boots on my lap. Yeah. You're like, President Joe Biden is now going to war. MAGA needs to stand up and fight. Just me guessing with my bad imitations. Anyways, let's keep it moving with these fucking knuckleheads.
It sucks that Israel gets brought up because people are going to be like, oh, you can't say anything about Israel. And I don't give a crap if people are saying anything about Israel. But there is no reason we should allow people that are anti-America to be in the United States on a green card. Like, get them out. If you're anti-American, get out. I don't care if you're anti-Israel. Like, don't give a crap about that. You should be able to say whatever you want about Israel. I don't care. But if you're anti-American, beat it. Send them out of here.
I mean, is this coming back?
Is that what he's being deported for, dumb fuck? Hey, dumb fuck. Is that what he's being deported for? These people are fucking stupid. And let's be real. Smelling more and more like a fucking op, bro. They smell so fucking sus. That statement right there is... Once again, with less charisma, less theatrics, and a dweebier face, sounds like Bill O'Reilly, circa 2002, 2003-ish. Anti-American. And they make up reasons to... Remember Fox News did that story? Like, look at these Palestinians celebrating 9/11. They're celebrating the death of 3,000 Americans. Look at this image. Meanwhile, it was actually just footage of people. They were offered food and cakes and shit like that, like cakes and candies. He's like an older lady. Oh shit, thank you. And they're smiling and laughing. Nothing to do with 9/11. But guess what? Fox News doesn't give a fuck. The point is to sell the fucking war. Sell it. So with these scenarios, even if he absolutely misreads the scenario, it doesn't matter. His point is to sell the fucking narrative, bro. Sell it. Sell the idea that we need to get these guys out of here because they're anti-American. Is his wife anti-American too? What do you do with her? She is American. Is she allowed to be anti-American? What if she had views and he didn't? That looked like anti-American. Would you still kick him out? Something tells me this butt chin ass fuckface would do that too. These fucking dweebs, bro. I'm telling you, all these dudes got picked on in high school, bro, and they're taking out on the rest of us. I'm telling you right now. Just a shit talking, folks. All right. I have no idea. Something tells me these guys in lockers have an intimate relationship with each other. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, let's continue.
Back to the same argument people. I mean, I know that it's different because we're talking about somebody on a green card and not somebody with U.S. citizenship, therefore not offered the same protections of the amendments. But like, it's like when they have the debate about burning flags, right? And people go on and on about whether you should be allowed through your free speech to burn a symbol of the United States.
Which
of America.
I think you should be allowed to do.
So
you should be allowed
and
to do.
I understand.
There's one thing that I want to point out. Like you're saying that it doesn't protect people that aren't citizens.
No, I'm just following through here. So
saying that a legal alien does not have, or someone here on a green card doesn't have the broad range, full range of First Amendment
Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights doesn't the Bill of Rights
doesn't have the full. I think he does. I think he actually does have those full, maybe not the full social rights of like, getting loans or who knows, even voting maybe or something like that. But as far as protected right, as in like idea of like quote unquote human rights under the idea of America, it's supposed to be for everyone on the on our soil. I'm pretty sure. According to constitutional lawyer Glenn Greenwald, he is very much allowed to say these things or think them. Can he stockpile weapons? No, but no one can. Well, I think there's a legal way for Americans to stockpile, like, you know what I mean? Like, stockpile weapons for the sake of trying to, like, do like a mass shooting attack or something like that. Like, no one's allowed to do that. American or not. I don't know. This stuff seems pretty simple, but these guys are finding ways for a neocon Douglas Murray as Donald Trump to fucking skate by on this when this is unprecedented. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable, these guys. Like, I mean, like, how much do you get paid to do this shit? Like, seriously. While these guys spout bullshit, Timmy's going to sit there and let them do it. And then if someone calls him out, and be like, I didn't say anything. It wasn't me. I didn't say anything. I don't know that. Maybe Timmy speaks up at some point. But I wouldn't be surprised. Let's put it that way. There we go.
It doesn't do anything to people. It only limits the government. So that's wrong.
The point that I
People that aren't citizens.
No, I'm just following through here.
Saying that a legal alien does not have, or someone here on a green card doesn't have the broad range, full range of First Amendment
Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights doesn't do anything to people. It only limits the government. So that's wrong.
The point that I'm making here is that when we're talking about this here, then we get into the same debate that we were having in the previous topic, where we're talking about people who might be free speech absolutists, or people who it becomes a purity spiral for people on the right who want to talk about who's the most free speech and who believes that we should limit the government the most. And a lot of people are ignoring the fact that, simply speaking, somebody here on a green card isn't afforded the same rights as somebody who's a citizen of the United States of America.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
But you do need, there is due process, right? There is due process. And along with due process, you have to, like, okay, we're going to kick you out because you committed a crime. But if I use George W. Bush style rules and say, well, you're subverting U.S., you're subverting, U.S.'s stranglehold on narrative in regards to the war on terror, thus we have to kick you out. Like, it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. There's no, like, these guys are turning the conversation to something I don't think it is. I don't know if that's on purpose or not. Maybe there's like dumb people or something. But why are we going in this direction? Did he commit a crime? What's his crime? Someone name the fucking law that he's broke. Please. If saying America sucks is a crime, right? Like, oh, you committed a crime as a legal resident, but you committed this crime, thus we're kicking you out. Then that means if Americans say it's also a crime. Because it's just a crime. It is just a crime. That's it. I mean, what would the application look like at that point? Do you love America? Check yes or check no. For like an application to get over here, to get a visa, a student visa, an H-1B, or a green card. What's the application look like? How do you fucking know that? See why there's no legal precedent for it? But they're trying to make it a legal precedent. Which means you're in trouble now, guys. Now it's like a law. Like you can't, like you're subverting U.S. foreign policy. This is a national security issue. If it's a national security issue that this guy says it, that means it's a national security issue if you say it. You, the American, if you say it. It's right? If that's the crime, then it's a crime for you too. You dummies. Holy shit. I mean, stupid on stupid type shit going on here. Right? You can't have a guy where he didn't do anything illegal and say he's got to go because we just want to. Which means Ruber got to scramble and make up a fucking excuse for it. And essentially creating a law out of nothing. Playing legal word salad to say, like, oh, he's endangering U.S. foreign policy. That means if someone, an American, saying the exact same words he said, they're also endangering U.S. national security, bro. Do you get it yet? You get it? You understand now? Here we go.
If you're here on a green card, the government can say, nope, we want you out for a whole slew.
Any reason. The INA says at the discretion of the Secretary of State.
And if it's at the Secretary of State's discretion, get him out.
They additionally have a secondary provision, which is what I think it was Section 237. Which,
if they could just say, get out, then what the fuck are the legal proceedings for? Why'd they send him to Louisiana? Why'd they have him sit in front of a judge? Why did they do all that? They had to have a reason to do it, right? If they were allowed to just get him out of here, they would just get him out of here. But there's judges blocking things. There's judges agreeing on things. There's some sort of legal thing happening, all right? There's court sessions happening. Why would they need to do that if they could just say, get out, get him out? Is there like some sort of laws or rules that we have to stand by? Thus, we have to find a legal precedent to get rid of this fucking guy? Duh. Hey, I don't like that guy. Get him out. He should just be able to do that then. No reasons needed. No excuses made. No court hearings. No nothing. He could just say, Rubio can just say, I don't like that guy. Get him out. If they're allowed to just legally just kick anyone out they want. Shit, maybe they are. They just need window dressing to make it look good or something. Make it look like it's the right thing to do. I don't know. But something tells me you're not allowed to just kick them out. Something tells me. Once again, I recommend constitutional lawyer Glenn Greenwald to fucking look over it. Go watch his fucking video on it. That's what I would recommend. And watch his debates with people that have the opposite opinion and watch them like they just melt. They don't have a fucking chance. Anyways, here we go.
Which is what they used to remove the visa of Mahmoud Khalil, which is a threat to national security.
Can we screen?
You keep saying visa, but it's a green card. You keep saying visa. Again, everyone else is saying green card. Tim keeps saying fucking visa. He might be just doing it like brain farting, but I think there is an important difference. I'm pretty sure. But here we go.
Get him out.
They additionally have a secondary provision, which is what I think it was Section 237, which is what they used to remove the visa of Mahmoud Khalil.
We'll find a locker to sit in to feel comfortable.
Can we screen people for like being furries? Can we do that? Can we just keep them?
I honestly,
I mean, like,
the logic here is that because he's speaking things that make him that are anti-Western, that he's a threat to the United States.
So
Phil was saying he was anti the West. Okay, so
right. But the point is that's not why he was targeted.
Anti the West, like, so could he be anti-Europe? Is that what you mean? Anti the West? You mean Europe? Could it be England or France? What if Brexit's happening? He's like, fuck the UK leadership, bro. They need the Brexit right now. Would you be okay with that? That's anti-Western. Maybe more so anti-England, right? Or anti-English establishment. So it shouldn't be about Western. It should be about America, if you're even going to use that as an excuse, even though that doesn't fly either. But whatever. Sorry, nitpicking a bit. Sorry. Here we go.
Anti-Western, that he's a threat to the United States.
So
Phil was saying he was anti the West. Okay, so
Phil's a little boner.
That's not
he's
why
a
he was
little
targeted. The reason he was
dipshit.
Targeted, along with all of the other students, is their anti-Israel sentiment. I think it's silly to argue it's the West when they've literally pulled the visas of a doctor. They've denied one guy and another student, and the only thing they have in common is that they criticized Israel.
Well, that is a bad. Like, if we're
Thank
talking right now,
Thank you, Timmy. That's exactly what I just said. As the sound thread between all these other cases.
One guy and another student, and the only thing they have in common is that
let's hear the excuses for this.
That is a bad. Like, if we're talking right now, you were talking about the bifurcation of politics in America right now, and you're saying that young people are becoming increasingly anti-Israel. I mean, we could also talk about the fact that it's falling on gendered lines a lot in the United States right now.
Oh, yeah.
Women go heavily for Democrats. Young men are becoming increasingly right wing. Sure, but if there is a through line here, that it's increasingly true that young people in America don't understand the connection between the U.S. and Israel, then the fact that so many of these cases, so many of these deportations relate back to speaking out against Israel, that's a problem because it makes people feel like they're being targeted, and a lot of those people are citizens of the United States, and they see something wrong there.
They feel like they're being they are being targeted. They are being targeted. They are, blatantly. If that dude, let's say the quotes that Phil Boner gave to Mahmoud Khalil about America, right? Oh, I hate the West. America should self-destruct or something, whatever the fuck he said, right? Let's say he only said that. People have questions like, would he have been? would he be in this situation if he said nothing? If he said, "I love Israel, but America's trash"? I'm curious because Glenn Greenwald once again brought up this Canary group, this Batar group, heavily funded by anonymous fucking rich people, and they were allegedly giving lists to the Trump administration of people to get rid of. Come on, guys. Come on. Think about it. Think about it. Anyways. Oh, and by the way, it was more so that it was the right wing speaking up against Israel. No. I think it's probably a decent balance of people. I don't know, from like back in the day. Whatever. They had problems with the Israeli lobby, for sure, right? And influencing our politicians to vote in favor of giving them shit tons of money and weapons every year. And leaning in their favor in regards to policy and all that shit. But yeah, people have problems with that. And by the way, isn't there laws on the books for some states about criticizing Israel? And you may... What was the fucking rule? Shit. Because it wasn't a school thing. It was something like... It was like things where there was bills about like hurricane relief. And inside the small writing, there was some shit about protesting Israel. Or being against Israel in some way. I'm in dumb fuck land right now. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. That's a thing. But even then, let's say the school thing. If they are the thing with federal funding for schools, he's not just like out of all the students that go to Columbia University or UCLA or any of these fucking places, Tufts University, whatever the fuck, right? How many students are protesting against Israel? Would you say the majority? Would you say a small group in comparison relative to the size of the actual school or student body? I would think it's, relatively speaking, would be small compared to the amount of students that go to these schools. Right? If that's the case, why is Trump taking full federal funding from the entire school? So he's punishing Americans. Well, there are Americans straight up protesting, saying the same things or worse than Mahmoud Khalil. And those quotes that Philip Boner gave him, I don't know if that's accurate or not. Be real with you. I'll keep it a buck. They might have been attributed to a group that he was somewhat associated with, or whatever. But I don't know. Right now, I can't think of it off the top of my head. This is a shit talking session, bro. It's for entertainment. Anyways, so he's Trump, and his rules. By the way, he did this rule in his first 4 years. He did it then as well. He did an executive order with all the pro-Israel, pro-Israel people surrounding him. All right, and he's like, "Yo, we'll take away federal funding if we see anything that's anti-Semitic." Now, how do you define anti-Semitism? If you're against Israel, you are anti-Semitic. That is essentially how the law works. That's how it's being enforced. And they are taking away federal funding from schools where first of all, most of the students aren't out there protesting. And most of the students are American. So he's punishing Americans for anyone having a wrong opinion. Once again, most of the students protesting are not fucking immigrants. They're Americans. All different races. And ethnicities and religions and all that shit. All protesting this one thing. And he's collectively punishing the entire university. Take away their funding. But I wonder if these guys will talk about that. Let's say there was no immigrants. There was no student visa people, no green card people involved in any of it. Trump would still be taking federal funding from the school for Americans protesting a foreign country. If they said, fuck America, guess what? That might be okay. So you guys tell me. But these guys let's be real. They are fucking up the scenario that's actually in front of us. They are fucking it up. I think they're actually diagnosing the actual situation very, very wrongly. Now, I'm gonna take a wild guess here. I think it's on purpose. It's on purpose to make that little poster to make that guy look good when he's clearly doing something like just by human standards criminal. Maybe not lawfully, But by human standards, like, damn, that's fucking criminal, bro. Anyways.
Whether true or not.
Wait, what?
All I'm saying is that, like, if young people who are anti-Israel see people being deported because they are speaking out against Israel, they're saying, why is this happening? Now, we're talking about green cards. Fine. That makes perfect sense. But a lot of U.S. citizens who are speaking out of it feel as if they're going to have their speech stifled.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's why making this about Israel is a bad idea.
Yes, it is.
I've said it.
It's a bad idea for strategy. Yeah, it looks bad. This guy's all about winning for a team because he's a fucking loser. Full-blown loser. Anyways, here we go.
Multiple times in the show. It shouldn't be it shouldn't be about Israel. It should be the fact that you have a green card and you should not be allowed to talk the United States.
But even going back to that example, if
shouldn't
you
be
are
allowed
a citizen
to talk
and you
shit
want to talk
about
smack
America.
about the United States, downfall of the United States, you have the right to be able to do that as long as you're not advocating for violence. So you know, it goes back to what you're saying. You've got the First Amendment.
But Phil,
we can't deport
he changed
citizens if
hats.
They say that.
You are
this guy.
correct.
He is a brick. He's a
that's not
walking
what
brick.
The DHS announced specifically anti-Semitism.
Yeah, it's.
I was like, that's insane.
Yes.
Stupid.
It's so we covered this story today.
You're saying you've got the First Amendment.
But Phil,
we can't deport citizens if they say that.
You are correct. It should be, but that's not what it is. The DHS announced specifically anti-Semitism.
Yeah, it's.
I was like, that's insane.
Yes.
Stupid.
It's so we
Okay, so you agree this? So then you should be like, all right, he's good. All right, he's good. Once again, these guys are making no fucking sense. So then Mahmoud Khalil is good. See, they're saying, like, okay, he's being specifically this for anti-Semitism or, once again, threat to national security because you're saying bad things about Israel, right? Or national security interests or some shit like that. Some bullshit fucking term. And it's like, oh, that's stupid. That's stupid. Okay. But he's also, this boner guy is also saying that the U.S. has willy-nilly rights to just deport anyone they want to at any moment. And it's like, well, then why go through all the legal jargon like this then? Why do that? They could just get rid of them. Just get rid of them then. Why is there a court process? So these guys, this is just dumb motherfuckers. These guys are fucking up this topic badly. Badly. If someone's watching this, if they're a Tim Pool fan or they're used to this style of content and they think they're getting some sort of intelligent conversation, they're not. They might not realize they're getting a really dumb fuck conversation. Where so many forget about lawful flaws, logical flaws just up and down this motherfucker. This fucking the walking penis Phil over there just said, what did he say before? Like, well, he badmouthed America. So, get him out. Tim's like, well, they actually said it's about anti-Semitism. Oh, yeah, that's a bad idea then. That's a bad idea. Yeah, I don't like that idea. That's bad. So then you are for him staying? Or you still want him to be deported on the grounds of something that the administration's not claiming? Fucking idiots. Anyways, here's more dweebs circle jerking.
You are correct. It should be, but that's not what it is. The DHS announced specifically anti-Semitism.
Yeah, it's.
I was like, that's insane.
Yes.
Stupid.
It's so we covered this story today about a
bad
comedian
idea,
from
bad
Australia who was going to come to the U.S. to perform and decided not to because she's done like anti-Trump bits in the past, and she was afraid that they wouldn't let her in or they'd stop her at the border because she was going to file for a visa and they wouldn't let her in because she said things that were anti-Trump. And the reason that they're reporting on this is they're framing it as the president is he's stopping people from speaking out against him, which is designed to make the administration look a certain way. And when you do have these type of topics, like you're saying, where it's specifically against.
Hold on, because you guys are framing this. You're framing this topic a certain way. The Mahmoud Khalil case, you're framing it a certain way. What the fuck is? Who are these losers? Who are these losers, bro? Who are these soft men? Who are these individuals, bro? What the fuck? Someone get them a real ID, bro. Who are these fools? Not calling for doxing, I'm just saying, like who are you as a person, bro? As a man, who the fuck are you weirdos? Where the fuck do you come from? Incredible, man. Anyways.
And decided not to because she's done like anti-Trump bits in the past, and she was afraid that they wouldn't let her in, or they'd stop her at the border because she was going to file for a visa, and they wouldn't let her in because she said things that were anti-Trump. And the reason that they're reporting on this is they're framing it as the president is turning, he's stopping people from speaking out against him, which is designed to make the administration look a certain way. And when you do have these type of topics, like you're saying, where it's specifically against anti-Semitism, that does frame it that way for a lot of people.
So
the penis Phil over there, Phil Boner, just told everyone that they could just kick him out for any reason they want to because they're not American. You're an immigrant. We can kick you out for whatever reason we want to. So why couldn't that person be like, yo, I might get kicked out because I said the wrong thing in the past? Tim just said they're scanning social media accounts to look for any type of president to get him out of here. So, like, is he not listening to what's happening is he not listening to the conversation? Everyone in the room just justified that woman's position. I don't know who that is. I don't know who wrote the story about it. I don't know who quoted her. I don't know what the framing of it was. I heard his version of it, sure. But everything you guys said in the room right now justifies that position. Full-blown justifies it. It's like, I'm telling you, this is an unintelligent conversation they're having. Or the topic isn't unintelligent. It's just the way they're talking about it is just so fucking stupid. Just logically, just like they're breaking each other apart as far as arguments wise, but no one's acknowledging it. Like, wait a minute, that was my logic, and this guy just beat down Phil Boner's fucking logic from before. Look at these leftists leftist comedian that complained about Trump. She's now all of a sudden scared for her life that she'll be deported if she goes over there, if she comes over here. Another guy just said, yeah, Trump can just. The American administration, they can deport anyone they want to for whatever reason they want to because you're not American. You don't have the same rights. You don't have the same rights. You're not allowed to say anything, or you're not allowed to. You have no say in whether or not you're allowed to stay here or not. We can just get rid of you, or stop you from coming here in the first place. He literally just said that before. I don't. No one's checking on it. Whatever.
Someone commented that it's me who's making it about Israel. Here's ABC News. DHS to screen social media of visa applicants for anti-Semitic activity. Like, the DHS guidelines specifically state, and of course, what guidelines are they using? They're using the IHRA, which states that arguing that Jews don't have a right to an ancestral homeland is anti-Semitic. So they're likely going to
also comparing the actions of Israel to Nazi Germany is also anti-Semitic, guilty as charged. Yeah, there's a whole list of bullshit on there. Now, as far as I understood before any of this mess, I thought anti-Semitic meant like it's some sort of like, you're being racist. But for some reason, this gets like a special bracket on its own. I'm like, that's just weird. So if you call a black guy the N-word, that's racist. If you call an Asian guy the C-word, racist. If you're Clint Eastwood and you call someone a zipperhead, racist. But if you say, oh, that guy got a hook nose, you're anti-Semitic. That is like the weirdest thing ever. That's fucking weird. That's bizarre. But these fools, once again, this is like the lowest intelligence of a conversation. I think one of the dumbest I've ever heard in my life. It sounds smart and cordial because of the way they're talking and the camera cuts and the bringing up information here or there. It sounds like it's intelligent, but it's not. I'm telling you right now, these are dumb people talking with each other and making the topic actually dumber. By contradicting each other and on. It's not contradicting in the sense of an argument that they're arguing with each other. They're literally just breaking each other's logic down. It's insane. I can't. I'm stunned by this. Were you going to say something, Jesse? God.
So There's no, as far as I know, like there's not a law that says anti-Semitic, right? So there's like a rule that
If you define it, if they set it, the government sets out a definition, right, of anti-Semitism, and then they
yeah.
start.
Did they define it?
Yes,
Like it just
yes, it
okay.
is lawfully written down. Like this is the definition,
Wow.
and then they start
That's
using that for
interesting.
legal precedent in regards to like they can determine things as hate crimes, yada yada, which I think is on the books,
Mhm.
right? Hate crimes are on the book, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or in this case, because of the whole situation with Israel Gaza, you could be considered like against national security interest. That's what's happening to Mahmoud Khalil, as he is a national security risk because he's talking about what the bad things that Israel's doing.
God, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I mean, that sounds like very loose definitions.
It
Like when
is.
they were doing, when Biden was doing domestic terrorism with Bush before, just basically terrorism. Anything. It's like
Yeah.
get to give us blank checks, bomb any country,
I'm
war on terror.
Jazzy, I'm telling you, these guys are so stupid. See penis head right here with the black hat. This guy. See dumb fuck here. This fool said, "Oh, well." He first of all he curved the conversation, started talking about Mahmoud Khalil's like, oh, he's anti-American, he's anti-Western, or whatever the fuck, right? Not that that means anything in regards to free speech, but he's saying like, oh no, the State Department can and the government can get rid of you if you're not an American citizen. They can just get rid of you for any reason they really want to because you're not American. You don't have the same rights. And I'm like, why the fuck are they doing court proceedings then? What's that for? Why do they have to come up with legal reasons to get rid of the guy?
You're not American. You don't have the same rights. That's interesting. So
That's not even true as far as I understand. But
yeah, no, I mean the statement is interesting because you must follow the law of the land wherever you are, right? Like that's why you go to a different country and you have, if you don't know the laws, you could get screwed, right?
yes,
Same thing when it comes here, they might have different laws, but you have to follow the laws wherever you are, whatever state you're in.
yep,
So y- you must follow the laws, but if you don't have the same protections, that that's pretty strange. Like that goes with the laws, right? I would think. I don't know. I never heard that phrasing before.
I directly attached it to the law, straight up. Oh, you broke a law,
Yeah.
now we can get rid of you. Well, he's here legally. Uh, being able to say words out loud is legal,
Yeah.
except for the
Yeah.
whole fire in a movie theater thing, right? It was like, I'm going to
Right.
grab bombs, I'm going to blow everyone up. Like, okay, but he didn't say that, so he didn't
Right.
actually commit a crime, which would be the
Right.
legal precedent to deport someone, right? If you're here illegally, you're committing a crime of being here illegally. Thus, we can get rid of you. But if you're here legally, you didn't break any fucking crime, break any laws, then how the fuck are you able to just deport someone? You have to make up a bullshit reason and say national security reasons or
Yeah.
national security interest and get them out.
I would just think like, okay, if they're okay with, if an American could say that, right? Like an
Exactly.
American, they're okay with
Exactly.
that. Like you would protect his right to say whatever he wants because he's American. You could throw that in, right? Okay, because he's American, whatever. But but if you believe an American can do that, why do you believe that? Is there a principle? Is there, like, do you believe in free speech? Like like whatever the law is, do you believe in that? And if you're fighting for free speech, like, and you think there's free speech for some people but not for others, then you really don't believe in free speech.
Exactly. Exactly. And once again, they have to go through legal proceedings for all this, and they have to get a judge to judge in their favor, right? The U.S. State Department, they need them to lean in their favor in regards to like, well, this guy is essentially a national security risk by being a national security what's the word He's going against our interest in national security. So thus he's a national security threat, right? Which does what? What does that do? Think about that. Americans now, if they say the exact same words that Mahmoud Khalil says, that means they are going against American interests and they are a threat to national security, right? Doesn't that set that precedent? Like legally, you are a threat now to national security for saying the exact same things that guy says. But they're like, no, you're American, so it doesn't apply to you. No, they need a reason to kick him out, like a legal reason to kick him out. They're now saying this is wrong think or wrong speech. Thus, it's wrong speech for everyone.
Yeah.
Like the judge isn't a foreigner. He's an American making these rulings based on American laws. So like once again, these dumb fucks don't these guys might realize. I mean, like the fans of these idiots that like low IQ conversations, they don't understand that it's like they're hanging themselves. They are hanging themselves. They don't fucking realize it.
Yeah.
Why would it be a threat to... Hold on, Jesse, real quick. Sorry.
Okay.
Why would it be a threat to national security when a foreigner says it, but not a threat to national security when a domestic person says it? How does that make sense? You tell me. We've already killed Americans overseas. The Alawaki case and his children that have been killed by American drone bombs. And, Navy SEAL 6 motherfuckers. Like, so... once again, it sets a crazy precedent. Go ahead, Jesse. Sorry.
Yeah. Just that, like, when you talk about whether it's freedom of speech or any of the rights, like what these guys are doing, like when they look to carve out exceptions, it's definitely not about the principle.
No.
And so they're looking for some kind of, they're trying to find a reason. And when you carve out exceptions like this, like, and it's not like an exception like fire or like something that's actually like a violent thing, then they're always used, they always backfire, and they're used against you.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it was this, in this case, someone that you believe in and you agree with the guy, or even if you disagree with the guy, like it doesn't matter. It's like if you actually want to protect uh, a right, or like if you believe in a principle, then you can't just carve out an exception out of convenience, because it'll always backfire.
And it's just dishonest, to be real with you. It's a dishonest way to go about things.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable. And once again, the Mahmoud Khalil guy, the penis over there, the third box down, the penis said, he said some things about some anti-Western, anti-American things. He said some things like that. And it's like, well, how about the other, 499 other students that are, legally here that are being kicked out or that left already? What about them? I think it's actually close to 1,000. I might be tripping on that. Whatever. Point is, it's more than just Mahmoud Khalil, right? Were they all saying something bad about America? Like, no. There's a common thread here. They've either posted something, wrote an article about something, got out and said something out loud in protest, got caught on camera, whatever the fuck, about Israel in particular. So this whole thing, like, it's about, listen, he's fucking up America, right? He's saying bad things about America. Like, does that apply to every single one of these cases? There is one thing I see as being a part of every one of these cases, and it's not about fucking America. I'll say that right now. But for some reason, it's okay to define, threat to national security as being a threat to Israel's national security, as being equal, as being the same thing. Somehow. And it's just like, wow. Once again, I said there's no way that Timmy and his friends can walk on this side of the topic. All right? They have to be like, oh no, this is bad. This is censorship. This is bad, because that's all they've been crying about for years, right? censorship of the right wing and all that stuff, right? But no, even to my surprise, dude, I'm like, damn, you guys don't actually give a fuck, do you? You don't actually fucking care. You are protecting this orange Douglas Murray with all your might. Even when it's clear as day he's wrong about something. Clear as day. I'm wrecked. Like, once again, this is going to go down. This is probably going to go down, what it looks like so far, as one of the worst presidencies of all time. For, like, not for my judgment, but for, like, the popular outlook of it. And these fools are going to be, like, I think, if I had to guess, they have no choice but to be on this side. They have no choice. They have to do it because of maybe who backers are, who pays them, yada, yada, yada. Their fan base, whatever. Which would be someone paying them, right? Their fan base. So all this did was convince me that they will stay on a certain side. In fact, the only one that's actually said anything of possible logic is Timmy. Out of all these idiots. I'm wrecked. I'm seeing a growing sentiment against Israel now. It's like, no shit, you fucking idiot. You dummies. Who are these dumb people? Anyways, let's keep going. Here we go.
Pulling up social media activity from individuals who are in defense, who are against Israel or pro-Palestine, or they're going to argue that Israel doesn't exist, and that's going to be a basis for barring people. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I mean, I agree with you.
And as soon as I give a whisper of like, okay, Timmy, all right, Timmy's the only one calling this out, kind of. As soon as I say that, he's like, well, it doesn't mean that's a bad thing. It doesn't mean that's wrong. without fail, this Douglas Murray starts showing. Does not understand the precedent that's being set right here. And once again, fuck right wing, fuck left wing, fuck all that shit, fuck politics. Does this pass your sniff test, audience? Does it pass your sniff test as this being okay to do? Fuck left wing, fuck right wing. I'm not a voter of any of these sides. I think they're all fucking crooked. Not all of them, but I think a lot of them are crooked. And crooked or weak. Let's be real about that. They're either crooked or weak. In fact, the one who's strongest in his convictions would be someone like Thomas Massey that I've seen. Or like a Ron Paul type. Not that I agree with everything with them, but at the same time, it's like, as far as seemingly to mean well and stand behind their own fucking convictions, those guys do better than fucking AOC and Bernie Sanders. I'll tell you that right now. Thus, Trump has to get Massey the fuck out of here, right? He's got to try to primary him. I don't think it'll work, but he has to try to do that. So I think even that story, there's no way they could give any favor to Trump in regards to Trump wanting to primary Thomas Massey. There's no way they could be in favor of that. Any four of these guys, there's no way they could do that. He's too much of a darling to right-wingers. There's no way. But then again, I've been surprised before. I'm like, damn, you guys are stupid to this fucking level. Jesus. Anyways. Yeah, I take my credit back from Timmy. Here we go.
Going to be pulling up social media activity from individuals who are in defense, who are against Israel or pro-Palestine, or they're going to argue that Israel doesn't exist, and that's going to be a basis for barring people. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I mean, I agree with you, Phil, that if they are against the United States, why the hell would we let them in? And so we did a culture war episode. We had a.
In what way? In what way? Once again, forget about politics. Just your sniff tests. What if they're like, yo, I love America, but I hate America, bro. I hate when they're like, if they're complaining about something wrong our government's doing. Is that okay? I hope you would think that's okay. If there is Arab guys or Chinese people or Brits or Irish or someone foreign on a that are legally here, I hate that term, whatever, that are legally here, and they were here in, let's say, 2002, and they see the drums of war beating for Iraq, and they're like, yo, stay out of Iraq, don't go to war with Iraq, your government's corrupt, America, yada yada yada. You guys, like, if you keep it consistent with what these guys are saying, you got to get those guys out of here, right? You got to ban them. You got to deport them, even though they be right about the scenario. Even if they're saying nothing about the citizens of America, right? Like, oh, I love American people, but the government, full of shit. Maybe those guys should be allowed to be here. Maybe they have a fucking point. Once again, blanket stupidity. Always keeps winning somehow. How does stupidity keep fucking winning like this? I'm wrecked, bro. Anyways.
People. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I mean, I agree with you, Phil, that if they are against the United States, why the hell let them in? And so we did a Culture War episode. We had a lawyer who was in defense of Mahmoud Khalil, and I asked him, is it within the U.S. foreign interest to support Israel? He said, yes. Okay. Is it a threat to their interests to have protests against U.S. support for Israel? He says, yes. So Mahmoud Khalil was a threat by leading these protests, and that's why they deported him. And he was like, yes, but, it's a free speech issue. He should be allowed to say it. So ultimately,
I need to see that, because
the DHS issue on is that it's over the top.
I need to see that because I didn't see the interview. I don't know what he's talking about, and I don't trust him. First and foremost, I don't trust him. So I want to hear the guy's actual words. Go ahead, Jesse. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't believe him. Like what he just said right there. That phrase, like, is it? What do you say? Is it's against our interests? Or
Yeah.
I don't see that that's in any way like a formal thing. Like interest is way too vague. Like I can't imagine that that's a formal thing. That like and he said he talked to a lawyer about that. A lawyer was speaking that loosely. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't believe it.
Well, I know what I'll be watching after this video. I probably won't be reacting to it, but I'm just curious what the lawyer was saying about this case. Because for all we know, it could be a setup, bro. Like, once again, I don't trust this fucking guy. It could be a setup. It could be some bullshit fucking guy that's doing the interview. Who knows? I don't know the person he's talking about, but I'll give it a chance and listen to it. But yeah, I would think that you'd have to break a law to be kicked out of the country, right? And if you set the legal precedent that if you speak out against Israel or the United States or anything like that, if that's now yo, you committed a crime, essentially, we can get rid of you now. If that's allowed, I'm telling you, Americans, it's going to hit you back. It's going to hit you. If it hasn't already, it will hit you at some point. If you let them just go through with this willy-nilly. I'm telling you, bro. Anyways, here we go.
Okay. Is it a threat to their interests to have protests against U.S. support for Israel? He says, yes. So Mahmoud Khalil was a threat by leading these protests, and that's why they deported him. And he was like, yes, but, it's a free speech issue. He should be allowed to say it.
See what Timmy just said right there? So then he is a threat to U.S. interests. And that's the reason that they have to tell a judge, say, yo, this is the reason why we have to get rid of him. Right? The Trump administration had to make that point. Thus, if you do it, you are a threat to national interests, to American interests. If you as a citizen does that, you as an American are a threat to America's fucking shit. You're a threat to their shit. Now you are. 100%. Right? No way around it.
Right.
If they didn't need a reason, they could just do it, right? They just get rid of him. If they didn't need a reason for Mahmoud Khalil to be deported, they would just do it. They don't need a reason, right? But if they need a reason in a legal setting, then that applies to everyone now.
Yes, and as an American, I would like to understand why or how the fuck is that against U.S. interests?
Well, let's be real. This is all faux pas, Jesse. What they did was
Yeah.
they took a guy from New York and shipped him down to fucking Louisiana to get a judge that apparently can't read. He can't see. He's like, yo, listen, my pitcher can't throw strikes, so I need to go find the most dog shit fucking umpire in baseball history. I need to find the blindest umpire ever so that my guy can throw strikes now. That's what happened. Sorry for the sports reference. But it's like fixing the rules for him. Right? It's deflating the football, essentially. More sports references. Sorry. It's cheating like every sports team in Boston. It's like that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't take that back either, Boston fans. I don't take it back. Anyways, I want to hear that again. Because I want to hear that again.
Mahmoud Khalil. And I asked him, is it within the U.S.'s foreign interest to support Israel? He said, yes. Okay. Is it a threat to their
I say no to that.
to have protests against U.S. support for Israel? He said, yes. So Mahmoud Khalil was a threat by leading these protests, and that's why they deported him. And he was like, yes, but, it's a free speech issue. He should be allowed to say it. So
it means when you do it, it's a threat.
What I criticize the DHS issue on is that it's over the top. If they said anti-American activity and then lumped in all that stuff with it, I'd say, I guess. But to make
Timmy never. He's Kobe in the fourth quarter, bro. He will not disappoint you. If you're looking for hate watching material, this guy will not disappoint you. He will not disappoint you. If you're saying, and once again, you're right, Jesse. Vague statements, very vague. Like, how do you define that? What does that mean? What does that exactly mean? That's why it's such a vague, like, that's a statement that's, I think, been used in other cases in regards to, like, oh, they're against American interests. Or it's like they usually do it with foreign policy, right? Where it's like, oh, it's in America's interest that we bomb Yemen.
Yeah. It's how the news reports things.
Exactly.
That's not like how law is written. That's not how like you define anything. That's how news talks about it. News is like beyond dumbing things down. It's about framing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about like explaining like how things work.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree with that. But I don't know if you say I hate America or anti-America. Like, what's the some people think it's pro-America to get them out of wars. What if there was an immigrant legally here that was against the wars because he's like, oh, it's Thomas Massey style. He's half Thomas Massey, half Code Pink or something, where he's like yo, fucking, you guys are losing all your money in these wars, bro. It's not working out. Like, oh, and also look at all the innocent lives being taken, bro. A lot of innocent civilians died in these wars. It's not helping America at all. This is anti-American statements. It is against American interests, and we are deporting this person. Like, as of this moment, like that would be considered, under this the way Trump and Rubio's doing this shit. That could be like, yo, you're fucking deported for this. And sorry to bring it to dumb guy level, but I have to bring it to dumb guy level. This is what I hear T-Lab do all the fucking time. But it's like, I think he feels the need to do it. And I feel the need to do it right now. I think a lot of these idiots, if this was Biden doing this, they'd be like, what is this? What's happening? This is anti-free speech. Censorship. Unbelievable. On its face. Unbelievable. But here we go.
Is that it's over the top. If they said anti-American activity and then lumped in all that stuff with it, I'd say, I guess. But to make it specifically about anti-Semitism is like, guys, what can I get a special provision for Asians? Like anti-Asian hate or something?
Are there other allies to the U.S. that we should specifically be seeking out there, people speaking out against them?
It would never come up for anyone else. Would never come up for anyone else. The way that the when it comes to Israel and when it comes to Jewish people, it's nothing but like specifically we need these special protections for Israel, blah blah blah. The whole Israel's the U.S.'s greatest ally and blah blah blah. That stuff is all just propaganda.
Also, don't forget that the people who'd be
it's all just propaganda. So a guy who speaks out against it, you guys haven't. You're just okay with him being Mr. Penis here was okay with that. Not this guy, the last guy. These guys are okay with him being deported on those grounds. Like, literally on those grounds. He's okay with it, though. It's just, once again, I'm telling you, this is, maybe Tim Pool found like-minded people that start a conversation one way, then contradict it at the tail end of the videos. Every time. Like, me and James watched this fucking dude when he was by himself doing news stories where he'd build this entire narrative up, then take it back in the last fucking 2 minutes. Just take it back. And be like, well, what's the point of the fucking video? What are we doing? What is that? It's so weird, bro. I think he found weirdos like him. Just fucking dweebs. Here we go.
Speaking the most about this would be far, far leftists who are suddenly going to talk about how important free speech is because these things are going on, despite the fact that they would gladly censor you at a moment's notice if they had the ability to.
Toss you in gulag.
Maybe he's right. By far, far left, who does he mean by this? Because, once again, this guy just called that propaganda, but Timmy made videos where Ilhan Omar called out AIPAC, and Timmy called her anti-Semitic for that. So, like, he did the same thing that you guys are saying is propaganda. Timmy did that already. And in this scenario, as far as, like, the far left that would censor someone, give me names. Because as far as on paper politically, the far left, as far as in the government right now, would be someone like Bernie Sanders, I guess. Who also leans in favor of Israel. Maybe not their fucking blatant genocide, but overall in favor of Israel. How do you, like... Maybe they're talking about the, like, oh, he, him, her, the they things. Like, oh, when people do that, they'd censor you for not calling them the right pronouns. But, like, yeah, Twitter's allowed to do that. That's their company. They're allowed to fucking do that. Do I agree with that? Fuck no. They're fucking idiots. But Elon Musk isn't any better to me. But, I mean, let's be real. People are fucking easily tricked by kindergarten psychology, bro. Kindergarten psychology. I'm telling you right now, there's people hearing me talk right now and assuming that I'm a Bernie voter or an AOC supporter. Oh, he's a far left. He's a woke leftist. And it's like, whoa, you guys are so fucking brainwashed. You can't see anything, bro. You can't see your hand 2 inches from your fucking face, can you? There's no examination of your own life, no critical thinking skills, just barfing garbage on the internet all fucking day. And I'll talk to anyone. I'll talk to anyone about anything. Any topic. I don't ban people. I don't just dismiss them. I argue with them, 100%. I don't be like, oh, shut up, and just ban them. I don't do that shit. And yet, when I argue one topic, I'm a Trump supporter. I argue another topic, I'm a Bernie supporter. I argue another topic, I'm a fucking Joe Biden supporter. I argue one topic, oh, you're nihilistic. I argue another topic, you're jaded. I argue that, like, on and on and on and so forth, man. And it's like the team playing is the cancer of political discussion. We just heard these four fucking dickheads. We just heard them, and they're fucking dancing and shaking to make sure that Daddy Douglas Murray looks good, aka Trump. Anyways, here we go. Yeah. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and it's lowbrow, and it's low IQ. It really is.
I'd like to get your opinion on this brick suit.
Not by capacity, but by experience. Low IQ.
Is U.S. support for Israel, partly because of Netanyahu's meeting with Donald Trump, but also because I got invited to meet with Netanyahu.
I heard about that.
Some other people.
Oh, shit.
One of the ideas I expressed in the meeting was that in 10 years, based on the trends we're seeing from the younger generation, in 10 years, support for Israel politically in Congress will be in heavy dispute. In 20 years, the U.S. will not be aligned with Israel. I'm curious your thoughts on the young vote and what you think of it.
We went over this dumb topic before. It's in the past video. I'm just going to leave it alone right now. All right, here we go.
Situation.
It's for the audience.
Well, that's a long time window, and to really.
I would love.
Are you saying?
I would love if Tim actually covered why people are upset with Israel right now from all spectrums. Like, here's why they're upset. Like, really go over it in detail. I'm afraid he might not do that because he's not allowed to. Anyways, here we go.
Extrapolating like the type of what's going on in the Middle East now, and that kind of conflict continues, like that level of discord continues in the Middle East.
No,
there's going to be fatigue on it because if they turn it around and somehow get that situation under control where there aren't continued hostilities, then I think that politically in 20 years it's going to be somewhat different. But if what's happening now continues and there's as much violence there, you're going to have a different issue.
I don't think it has anything to do with the region.
They might just end the fucking thing. Let's be real. Once again, I'm projecting that they will end Palestinians essentially end them either by death or by ethnic cleansing. They end those type of people. basically. And they start moving into other countries and marrying into other countries, and generation by generation, they disappear, basically. Yeah. Yeah, and that might go down so fast within Trump's 4 years here that, yeah, I'm sorry, people forget. I'm telling you, the Iraq War was like, at the time it was happening, was the biggest shit on the fucking planet. It was the biggest deal on the planet. And it's almost like it didn't happen. It's so gone. People fell for the same fucking tricks, the same mistakes, the same media coverage. They fell for all of it. And they're falling for it again in this time period right now. And we have these 4 dweeby Pied Pipers leading the fucking charge. Or, not leading the charge, but they're a part of it. It's like, we didn't learn any fucking lessons, bro. So, you say we're going to have some, in 10 to 20 years, young people are going to be against Israel. Like, well, it's real. It might not matter. How much do young people bring up Native Americans, what happened to them? Forget about what actually happened. What about what they believe happened? Right? What these young people believe happened? The SJWs, what they believed happened? Or activists? What do they get to do about it? They get to talk about it, right? But does it change anything? Does it actually change anything? I guess the Redskins are now the commanders, right? Commanders? And the Indians are the guardians. Wow, what a symbolic win for them. Symbolic. Go on, bro. All right, here we go.
I think that politically in 20 years it's going to be somewhat different. But if what's happening now continues and there's as much violence there, you're going to have a different issue.
I don't think it has anything to do with the region itself. America on the right is largely America first, and on the left is anti-Israel. So the left, I mean, these are people who are in New York City who are cheering for Hamas, and they're chanting from the river to the sea. When these...
See? He's just doing exactly what Rubio and Trump administration, that is their talking point. He just called them anti-Semitic Hamas supporters. He just said that. Yo, if you don't know the game, once again, hey, I'm just one humble guy. I can't be your life teacher, bro. Go out and do some research. Could someone be lying about any of this scenario? Could they be lying about, the narrative? Is that possible? Ask yourself the question and go find out. Don't just rely on Douglas Murrays like this to tell you, because, in my humble opinion, they're willing to lie to you. Now, hey, don't trust me on that. Go find out. Would Timmy lie to me? Is he right about this narrative? Is he a fucking idiot on it? Or is he lying on purpose? Or what's going on? Is he correct? Don't just say because Timmy said it's correct. Look into it. Here we go.
When these people like AOC, and she's beating Chuck Schumer in the polls in New York for the Senate.
Well, he doesn't know how to grill a hamburger, so...
Indeed. But AOC was very much on that same train until she got elected, and then she tried to moderate.
Yeah,
But the supporters she has for this, they are the people who are in New York chanting from the river to the sea. Thanks for checking out this clip from TimcastIRL.
Okay. So, once again, he's turning a possible future event into an anti-Semitic thing. Most of AOC's followers are anti-Semitic. Hey, listen, you don't have to love Israel, but guess what? Her followers are anti-Semitic. Right? So, the Women's March, they're all anti-Semites. Ilhan Omar questioned fucking AIPAC. Anti-Semitic. He's doing the narrative, he's doing the soft support narrative building ass shit, bro. If you can't see that, I feel bad for you. It is what it is. Don't forget to subscribe if you like. Comment, agree, disagree, tell me what you think. Once again, I like to look at comments. I like to respond to comments. Anthony calls me a little bit, what would the word be? A little sadistic. As in, I pretend I'm a poor little bunny and I leave traps everywhere, and then these idiots run into it and they get fucking smoked and they disappear forever. They disappear into the shadow realm because they don't have any fucking arguments, because they've been watching Tim Pool the whole time, who gives them no information, no substance, no humor, no nothing. So they come up here shorthanded and they get fucking destroyed. But anyways, sorry, had to let that out. That's triggered 30 people right there. Yeah, so leave a comment. Agree, disagree, tell me what you think. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, and donate. And with all that said, give this video a big old beanie size, bald head underneath, thumbs down. By the way, there's nothing wrong with bald people. Bald is cool. Michael Jordan, Mr. Clean, Vin Diesel. It's fine, okay? It's okay to be bald. But Timmy's a dweeb. It's not okay to be a dweeb, though. I'll make fun of you for that. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in.